um, Sengoku's like, "Hey, look everybody, it's Date Masamune," and then he says like one line, and then it's like, "Wasn't that just great, kids?" And then you just move on. And I'm like, okay, that's great. It's a pixel rendition of Date Masamune
Where's my guy just in his underwear again?
because he's not wearing anything,
Okay.
which is
Do I need to put on clothes him or something?
yeah.
What's
You got a magic circle and then equipment. I'm actually
I don't
gonna.
even have that yet.
Oh, maybe you don't. Actually, I'm gonna. It's been a little bit since I started the game, so I'm just gonna like. Well, I'm gonna do this as you do it. Options, title screen,
I'll
uh,
work it out.
new game, modern. Yep, 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 yep. Also, another thing you might want to consider um, when you're like this is like not relevant at the moment, but it becomes relevant the second you get like your first historical character. Historical characters you can't change their names or appearance, so they're not worth. I wouldn't recommend leveling them unless you really like their name and appearance. If you really want me to like, I sat through all the cutscenes, so if you really want to like know the story, I could tell you.
I just
But
want to know what to do next, really, because I literally skipped what the guy was saying.
oh, okay. Pretty much, go talk. There appears to be a soul at like the gate, so just walk.
Yeah, I spoke to
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Ah, cool. Okay.
And then you're like, you can press start and then fast travel, and then just. Oh no, you can't yet. Apparently, it's all question marks. Fuck. Yeah, yeah.
I've been just given gear, so yeah, okay, I get it. I don't want it.
Yeah. Talk to the
Let's get to my
dude.
dungeon. One.
Onagawa. Let's see who beats it faster. Oh my god, you do like no damage at the start. Holy shit. Who would have guessed, right?
Okay. So I'm just trying to check buttons. Alright.
I'm at fucking 3 health already. I'm so not used to this. So shit. Oh, I got some straw armor. Oh, oh. I'm at 1 health. Oh no. Am I really gonna die on the first mission? Oh, another thing, though this is like not really that relevant at the moment. I think the most powerful class at the start is definitely the Saint, just because he has self-healing abilities, but that becomes like
Yeah.
irrelevant like a few chapters into the game, because anyone can get healing abilities if they really want to.
Oh, fuck this spider. Alright. Come here, you little bitch.
It has been the thing. Want to give it a shot? You'll need another person there. Go make a friend and bring him back here. There are lots of owls gathered at the shrine. One of them should be able to help you. I mean, I don't know what this whole owl obsession is in this game, but it's definitely a thing. Talk to me after you make a friend.
Alright.
It's like if it's like you can like talk to like Yukimura and be like, "Oh, looks like you haven't brought any friends." The implication being like he is not your friend at all. Doesn't give a fuck. Gotta go talk to somebody to make friends. I don't like weak people. He's a fucking owl. There we go. Guess I'll make bam. Now this is a magic circle. Oh shit, they're gonna tutorialize the shit out of this magic circle business. At least there's an option. Would you like to know about magic circles? Hey, I have a magic circle.
Make Princess the White Owl.
Yeah, you just have to like guess which owl it is. This will go make another friend. I'm gonna go back up my save data because I would be the type of person that just like saves the game and then overrides like the save that I have like all my progress on. Fortunately, saves like it's cloud saved, but you can also it's also like local saved, and you can back up the local saves really easily.
How many of these dudes am I supposed to grade?
Well, at the start you have a circle that can allow two, I think. It depends on which character you are, but I think the basic circle is always the same. I'm not sure though.
I created a samurai. The saint is fine.
Yeah. Oh, oh fuck! This guy has fire invulnerability, but fortunately I've bought an ice spell. Ah, fucking outplayed, nerd. So imagine you beat Claudin 2, right?
I've played a bunch of it. I'm not sure if I ever beat it.
No,
I
right.
can't remember in all honesty. It's been a long time. I've not played my PSP in years.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the merchant is also pretty funny because he's the magic ability to get more money. Pretty much what that means is he loses less money when you die, and he also has an ability that literally increases the amount of money you receive when you kill things, which is also pretty funny. It's kind of like he is kind of in the late game he is very useful because that's how you make a lot of money in the late game. Oh yeah, you will also want a mage at some point, just because they have a magic circle that's really good for effectively boosting your power to like beyond what it would normally be. Because they have like a thing where it's like, oh yeah, just get 9 times the amount of mana for like one guy. It's pretty decent.
Do I have to? I forget. Do I have to equip stuff on like guys that are in the part of my circle?
No, 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 no. It's only the Lord. Unless you want him to wear clothes like some kind of freak. Oh yeah, beware of traps. They'll definitely be the thing that kills you, like, all throughout this game. Until you get abilities that deal with it. Jesus. Yeah, I really enjoy the Claudin games just because I really like the way they do the I really like the magic circle system as just a way of progression. I find that's much more interesting than watching like numbers. It's much more because it's like a little mini puzzle game that you can play where instead of just watching numbers go up linearly, you can place things down to see them go up linearly. And sometimes exponentially if you have the thingies for it.
Yeah, the RPG I'm playing at the moment actually takes quite a lot of the stuff from this, although I've actually not gotten to the point where I can actually make the most use out of it.
But does the new NIS game have something like magic circles?
Yeah, they're called covenants, but like I don't actually have high enough level covenants to actually do it yet. But yeah, you can basically slap a whole bunch of like dudes together to form like a coven that acts as like one character, and you get 5 of them in your party.
Interesting.
But I've actually not gotten far enough to actually make use of that yet. So far, I've only got covenants that have like one person in.
I'm part of a super elite society. How elite? I'm the only one in it. Oh my god.
This game's a little bit more deliberate, so I need to be careful about how the attacks pan out.
Yeah, it's fucking very like I got complacent because kind of like there's this weird situation where like in the mid to late game, the game gets easier because you get like better abilities and better things. And then at the start, it's like a weird curve where it's like hard at the start, easier at the middle, and then gets really hard at the end. No. We I have completed chapter 1.
I just got my ass kicked by a big blue flamey thing, so
Some things are unkillable, like until you get like the ability to kill them, like ghosts, I think. Also, all monsters have different flavors, and some flavors are weaker to other flavors.
how do I equip stuff onto my guy that isn't my lord?
You don't.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to change who your lord is, and then you can. but that doesn't like only the health and the mana of a unit gets taken into consideration if it's a vassal, if you know what I mean. So their stats don't matter, except for mana and health. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. It's looking at you technically have another guy on here.
I've made a habit of like saving every after every mission clear, just do a quick cheeky save. Oh, yeah, need to talk to the blue guy. I remember being burned to death. Yep, okay. Ah. I've got a saint called Pancake, but because he has very little HP, he just gets murdered every time. Uh. Oh, fuck. Why do I try and do this? So, the character that I'm, like, currently is my lord is like a magician, right? And in the, later in the game, you have like a jump and bash attack, right? And, as the wizard, in this point, it is less than useless. Like, it is absolutely disastrous whenever you do it, because it just ends up getting you killed. But in the late game, it's very useful, because that's how you deal with people that have elemental immunity. But here it's just like, oh, you want to do 0.001 damage? And I'm like, no. Well, too bad. Beam.
Operation Cheese Boss out.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Dude, there's literally like a boss which all you have to do is just stand above him and then you're fucking invincible to him and it's like okay, well, but this game will have situations like that, but it'll also have you've triggered a trap, you just explode and die, and I'm like, okay. Another thing that is quite funny in this game is you can get iced, quote unquote, like where you just get the slippery on ice effect. And a lot of what I've had happen, like even like the later game, is I will just be like sliding around minding my own business. An enemy will just projectile ice me, and suddenly I go into maximum warp speed because I am sliding and also on ice, which, as you all know, ice not only has no friction, but it also accelerates speed times 10. So I just like absolutely just slide all the way across the map into a Hellgate, which is like the worst thing in this game, pretty much. So that's how like a perfect run can turn into a fucking disaster when you're just sliding around because it's speed movement and you don't get reduced defense when you're sliding, which you do when you're running. So that's what you tend to do all the time. And then it also allows you to avoid projectiles, by the way, which I just died to. Sliding where you can slide underneath projectiles, like all of them. Let me try that again. Hup, hup. Jesus. I assume, have you figured out how to equip abilities to your character yet? Like spells and stuff?
I'm not sure if the game's taught me that yet.
You should be able to. Like, you're able to from the start. So,
It's that magic ability, I
yeah.
see it. Like, I can... Oh, no, he does.
No, you should have sword ability or something.
Actually, he does not yet.
You'd hope the swordsman gets sword, right? This isn't the type of game where the swordsman only gets axes and spears or something ridiculous like that.
I believe he's actually a samurai.
Oh,
No, I did pick swordsman.
okay. I
Yeah,
think
he doesn't have any ability.
no, okay. Alright, he needs to level up a little bit more.
I like how they tell you literally the first that magic circle is like literally trash and you should get rid of it straight away.
My general philosophy is like, which I've had to break because the uh the better than Buddha magic circle is just so powerful that but it's like it's really bad but it's really powerful because it's like you can't heal. You could only bring one person, but you get like 9 times mana. But generally you want to bring like a lot of dudes with you because, you know, you're leveling more dudes at once, you have more health. You can take like quote unquote as many death blows, shall we say, as you have people. So like even if you were to fight something that does like 1,000 damage, right? If you have 8 allies, that's like 8 hits that they have to do on you, regardless of how much like damage they do.
I've just made it so I've changed out my thing so now no more suck ass.
I'll probably should do the same thing.
Save. Still on chapter 1, so it's taking me a while.
Don't worry about it.
So,
I'm mainly just doing this to kind of like remember, like to one have a character that's like on par, and also to kind of remember what happens, so that I can tell you what happened. 14 mana is a little bit too steep for me. Oh, lovely. Oh, well, never mind. Apparently he's too shit for that.
oh, cool. Gate's open.
Oh,
I'm gonna beat up this umbrella though.
no, yeah.
Oh my god, this guy
What?
being an asshole.
Oh, leave me alone. Oh god. Yeah, staves are quite good. They do quite a lot of damage, but you have like no bash ability, which is pretty bad. Not having the ability to bash is or you have that ability to bash, but it's just suicide whenever you try it, so not ideal.
What the actual place is now open.
I have access to the inn. I will not be going there. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, actually. Because the inn is also where you do multiplayer, so maybe. Let's actually see. Oh wow, I can do, we can actually network play once you get to chapter 2.
Okay.
Or chapter 2, mission 3 or something like that. Or 2 or whatever.
I'm a bit of a stickler. I need at least my characters to be wearing some kind of clothing.
Another
Which
kind of
why I should care all that much. But
no, you can't have them going around in their underpants.
what's that?
Okay, I'll have the saint lead the charge. And now I need another friend. I've made a third friend. And except for my leader, most of them are just in their pants. They're not very fussy. Yeah, what kind of abilities? Oh, apparently the monk is good with a blade. Wielding an everyday knife. I am completely made of straw. I just will get wrecked by any kind of fire. Nope. No, I haven't even received my widen yet, so. Let's see.
Under control now? Maybe?
Oh, what? Oh, it's this map.
Doesn't this game have some kind of weird random dungeon at the end game or something?
Oh, it has that. That happens like from the mid game. From the mid game on, you get random dungeons.
I remember spending most of my time doing that in Cloud 2, at least anyway.
Oh yeah, that's where the fun begins, shall we say? Ow, fuck. Blocking is good, by the way, but shield strength, if you have a shield, decreases over time. So the longer you block, the less effective your shield is.
Makes sense.
Yep. Because otherwise, you can stack resistances so that you can like gain life from certain attacks. And otherwise, you know, those kind of shields would just be like, lol, 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 I'll just hold my shield up all day and get healed for it.
And it'll stop you from doing that.
Yeah. They want to wait until later and so you can get all that crazy crap. My late game character, I made him like super vulnerable to ice, but he heals from fire, which is hilarious whenever I'm in like just a fireplace because I'm just like lighting myself on fire to deal fire damage towards enemies and getting healed for it. And I just happily step on explosive landmines to get healed. It's pretty good. Then when I visit the ice place, I have to like cry myself to sleep.
Fuck's sake. You know anything about playing on the Switch? I keep thinking they have confirm and select on Switch, so I keep like cancelling out stuff I want to select and vice versa.
Yeah, I'm using like just a PS2 controller setup thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like you know the button, like the bottom buttons normally like select on these
Yeah.
games. Well, like on the Switch, it's the button on the right. Which is really
Oh,
annoying.
rip, so it's literally reversed.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I keep hitting the deselect button.
I remember as a kid, I thought Japanese games always had it reversed.
Yep, they do. It's just like the Switch is kind of like that because they have like it's BA as opposed to AB.
Mm.
So, you know, they're Japanese. They read things from right to left, etc. So. Fucko. There's a lot of animation priority in the swings on this, which I kind of like. It reminds me a lot of like a 2D Dark Souls in a weird way.
Oh yeah, it is very much like that. Only fortunately, you don't have to wait like 4 billion years to like get back to where you were. Though you can like I've literally had dungeon runs where I've like been in the random dungeon for like an hour and then I get killed and I'm like, oh, sad face, because that you lose all your loot. You get like part of your EXP and your money, but you lose all the stuff that you've gathered.
Yep. A lot of Nippon Inc. stuff is kind of like that. Disgaea is like kind of the only game that isn't kind of like that, if that makes any sense. Or the strategy RPGs are anyway.
No, yeah.
Because like a lot of their dungeon crawling style games and RPGs generally tend to have a rogue-like element to them, where you know that you get penalized for fucking up basically.
Oh yeah.
I don't mind as long as it's not too bad.
No, like the worst thing, the thing that really put me off of like the Souls games, as opposed to something like this, is that in the Souls games, the punishment isn't losing necessarily progress or anything. The punishment is just let's waste your time for like a bit, and I'm like, oh, I can't stand that. Because in this game, like, the punishment is just well, you've lost your progress for like what you've just done, but you get to go right back at it if you know what I mean. So you get to play the game again continuously. Whereas
Yeah,
my
there's some points in at least I've noticed in some of the Dark Souls style games, like yeah, you basically gotta keep running past enemies until you have to fight them, which is not
yeah.
doesn't sound good to me.
No, but then again, I also played Dark Souls 2, which apparently is considered like one of the less good ones, but still, regardless,
It's still worse in the series.
like
But
regardless, like what one thing that didn't really appeal to me is that at the start, your strategy for dealing with multiple enemies is just don't. So you just always want to like lure people into a one-on-one fight, and I'm like, this is like the gayest shit I've ever fucking seen in my life. Like, can you imagine if there is just like a fucking there's like a group of goblins or orcs chilling out somewhere, and instead of like just charging in and fighting all five of them at the time, you have to like throw like a bottle at one of them and just wait for him to come to you, and then just like repeat that process 5 times as opposed to just being like a normal person and actually just fighting them.
yeah, like to be honest, you kind of need a great weapon to deal damage versus multiple opponents at a time.
Not one of your average weapons.
Well, no, as in like you need
I
like a
know.
big sword or like a big club, that kind
I
of.
know.
Bloodborne's a little bit better for that, but to be honest, we didn't get Bloodborne on the PC, unfortunately.
No, so and I'm like, not too fussed. Yeah, I like it when it's like a little bit more fast paced. Like, 'cause my kind of main answer to it is like God Hand, which is like the game that I like. It's not really that much like Dark Souls in terms of like style, but in gameplay wise, a hell of a lot.
You like character action games and not Souls likes.
Well, I like the problem with Souls, the with Dark Souls is that it's like very much up itself, which I don't really like because I like RPGs, right? I like stats. Dark Souls has stats. Dark Souls have RPG elements, and I like when the combat is difficult. But what kills me is that the um like it'll like just throw shit at you and then you have to like backtrack to get back to where you were. Whereas in this game, sure you can get like step on a fucking landmine, but you always get like you can always see it like a little bit ahead of time, so you can always react to it. And in Dark Souls, not necessarily. In Dark Souls, you can just do something and then just get completely fucked over because lol, that's just a trap. And it's like okay then, and then you have to like backtrack in Dark Souls, and I'm like, oh my god, fuck me. Whereas in God,
Where
yeah,
is he in, by the way? How
um,
do I tell if I can actually?
it'll say like if you've gone to chapter two and you need to have cleared the second part of chapter two.
Okay,
So
so I
and
can.
yeah, and then it'll give you like a cutscene that's like this is the end. But yeah, no, that's my gripe with it is that it's very Dark Souls is very much like it seems to like revel in your failure, whereas in a game like for example God Hand, like failure is very much punished, and God Hand is harder than Dark Souls, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And but it doesn't like it just is like you died, restart, and then you just restart, not like you died and now you have to backtrack all the way and feel bad about having died and shit in like a really stupid way, and I'm like, that's not great. I prefer positive reinforcement over negative reinforcement. Like I prefer when I die, like I want to potentially lose progress, but I don't want to like necessarily be like punished like for failing, if you know what I mean. There's a difference between not rewarding people that fail and punishing people that fail, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you.
Because like I don't mind if I don't get a reward because I fucked something up, but I do mind if I'm like, okay, you fucked something up, now you just gotta go all the way back to your thing, and I'm like, fuck this. Pretty much when I realized in Dark Souls that you can't take on multiple characters, like multiple enemies at once, at least not at the start. You just have to like roll around like a fucking asshole. And I was like, well, if they ever make like a diet Dark Souls where it's just the same type of mechanics, but it's just a little bit more actiony and not as not as much of the lol random traps out of nowhere.
So I'm just trying to focus because there's some switches I gotta press or something.
Yeah. When the thing is off, like when the yellow color is off, the switch has been triggered. So make sure that they're at that state.
Oh, great. Oh, what the fuck am I doing? Let's try that again. Still sucking. The only Dark Souls style game I've been playing lately is Nier, which is a bit more faster paced. Um, and generally you can take on more than one person at a time. Although, like, most people still try to shy away from that because
Yeah.
obviously people want to min-max the fuck, be really boring and min-max the fuck out of that game.
Yeah, I like because the problem is like at least as much as I played it, maybe like 20 hours into the game you get a way to do this, but Dark Souls doesn't really equip you to deal with multiple people at the same time. Like so there's like if you just get attacked by like even if it's like four dudes that are absolutely dog shit, just the fact that there are four dudes on either side of you makes it so that you can't do anything, which, whilst being realistic, isn't exactly very fun, you know?
Yeah, it's generally about positioning. I find, especially during the early parts, because like you basically fighting dudes in choke points.
Yep.
It'd be like the film 300 because you're going to be reenacting that.
Yeah. Oh, it's like kind of it's very comical in Dark Souls where it literally is like you there skeleton or you there goblinoid. We're gonna fight one on one. I've now engaged in the aggressive shuffle, and you still have you. And when you attack, I will roll and then hit you, and that's pretty much how that game works. And occasionally you fight like a dude that's a little bit bigger, and then that's more interesting. But a lot of times it's just like one on one, 1v1 me brah the game. I do like the owls. They're very
Hopefully, I can actually get the fuck out of here. Is there a map on this? I forget.
a map. Nope. I've never.
Oh, I forgot you can jump around 90-degree corners.
Yes.
This is a technique I've forgotten.
Yeah, you can even get stuff that ups your jump control and all that shit, so that where you can jump like an absolute madman. Oh yeah, I got through the start of the game by just sticking to projectile weapons or weapons with reach, because I'm a massive pussy. But that's pretty much how I dealt with rough dudos. Oh yeah, also I don't know if you remember this from Cloudin 1, but your lord will gain HP and mana for leveling up, and your vassals will gain stats for leveling up. So you are incentivized to like switch those guys out every once in a while.
Oh, yeah, okay, I remember.
Like I've done right now. So now I'm being the priest who could only heal himself because I haven't unlocked the widen ability yet. So I can't actually heal others, which is a little bit sad.
We stick with samurai until that's why I actually get to
Did you manage to get the inn unlocked?
I'm on that mission now.
All right.
mallet is not very good.
The mallet, the hammer, the big one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck me. Yeah, like, it has like um a charge attack that does AoE, but generally because you don't get a shield, it's not worth it because you want that shield. It is so good. Bow is also very good, and shuriken is also good. Pretty much, I wouldn't really consider any weapon to be super weak. I mean, I guess hammer because it's. I think it's the only. No, aside from bow, hammer is the only two-handed weapon. And sure, it does a lot more damage, but this game is about avoiding taking damage, if you know what I mean. Not necessarily about dishing out stupid amounts of damage. Nice. Whoa, what a nice redacted. Jesus Christ. It's the police.
Yep. We're here to arrest you. Right.
Aw, shit.
I guess. The HB thing. Okay, that's a bit better. Technically hire another person back here. We'll do that real quick.
Hire makes a little bit more sense than materialize out of nowhere.
Right, okay.
That is a rough spider. Moment when your fireball homes on the spider who is fire resistant.
save it. So you do this second mission then. Ah, I forgot to equip fucking techniques on this guy like an idiot.
Ripperoni.
That's fine.
Oh wow, yeah, fuck, I really need to wait for this dude to...
Huh?
No, I need to like wait for... Pretty sure I need to like wait for a fucking animal to break open this thing. Oh, maybe I can actually hit them through the wall. That'd be cool.
It's really funny because they're releasing a supposed complete collection of Disgaea 1 on the consoles. Um, they basically just renamed the PC version of the game and called it the complete edition. It's quite funny.
Oh yeah.
I didn't really think Disgaea 1 needed a complete edition, but then again there was the Afternoon of Darkness stuff, I guess, so...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Afternoon of Darkness stuff, like the PSP Disgaea 1 is quite good, but still, it is like, why would you play Disgaea 1 at the moment when you have so many other Disgaeas you could play?
Yep. This is still technically the most popular one, even though...
I mean, I think it has like the best story, I guess, because the other ones are kind of got mediocre stories. I mean, the second one also is pretty okay.
I think I'm in the inn now? I can't remember.
Did it give you like a little cutscene where it's like you unlocked the inn?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
No. Is it the place that will be
plus signs, yes.
the owls and shit?
Yeah, it's the place with the owls and shit.
I mean,
Yes, it is. So now we should be able to set up.
network out. Okay.
Yeah, I'll create a lobby. 2 players, create room. I've created a room.
Oh, so I see that in English now. I wonder how this is gonna work. Santio room? Is that you?
Yes, yeah, because that's just the name of the character. Sending
My
data,
my cat is
manga.
Mongo, so...
Oh my god.
Oh, actually, that's the point. Before we actually do anything, can I
Does
actually...
have a big fuck off club.
Oh, I can't even change my stuff here. Okay, that's worrying.
Oh, hold on. I might have to like. What if I wonder how this actually works. Oh, no, exiting will exit network play. Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm gonna end network play for a sec, because I need to do stuff on my cat real quick, because I forgot to do this. Because it would be such a shame if I didn't actually have set my magic abilities.
I think we're gonna get wrecked because if I'm interpreting this properly, like I think we can do some co-op missions which are like much higher level than we are by far. And like later we can do the death dungeon, but I don't think we can do the other dungeons. Maybe we can. Hold on, let me just like waddle around, try and find another owl or something.
Oh, let's get wrecked then, I guess. At least I've got a thing that allows me to heal my fucking people now.
Yeah, so do I, but
That's what I forgot to equip on my guys. Who's my got to back out.
We might get riggedy wrecked, but in fact we probably will get riggedy wrecked.
Alright, that's fine.
Let's.
Yeah, I mean, I'm using really basic equipment here, so.
Okay, well let's do the easiest one. I think I walk into this now. I don't know how this works exactly. Oh yeah, no. How do you ready yourself?
Yeah, you just click A on this big green curtain so you debuts dungeon.
Not all players are ready.
Yeah, you do it again, because I'm ready now.
Okay. Yes, alright. Alright, I hope you're ready to get fucking wrecked. I don't know where you are, but...
Seems like I'm on the bottom left of the map.
I have to say, I think the frame rate goes down when you're,
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like, welcome to console mode.
Great.
Oh god!
I just saw a missile fly towards you. You know something about that term.
Well, I know what I know. I know that my health is that all my dudes are dead except for me. So oh god,
Oh, you're level 50!
I'm not level 50.
No, the guy that's throwing the shit at you is.
Yes, he is, and he's also fire, which doesn't help that I have a fire staff and nothing else. Can I actually hurt him?
I've been hitting him with my mana. I'm doing 0.6 on him. Hold on.
I mean, I'm getting some nice loot, I guess. Oh my god,
Oh,
I can't even fucking see the guy. Oh, there he is.
how do you use your abilities? What button is it?
Triangle. I have been killed. Dead. Oh, you just respawn. Oh, lovely. Oh, we can just like fucking destroy him then. Oh, he is on fire, so he's not actually immune to fire. So he is on fire. He might just die by virtue of him being on fire.
Yeah, we got a minus 109 for some reason, so.
Minus 200 and something. Okay. We might just want him to burn to death, question mark, without us doing anything about it.
Where is he? I don't even know where he is.
He is somewhere in the middle.
Where he is. Bitch. Ah!
He is dying. At a, you know, not at a fast rate, I'd say, but it is happening to him. Like, fortunately, I have like 4 dudes, so he just kills my 4 dudes. So I've got like 5 hits of health or something.
We've got 30 seconds to kill this guy.
Oh shit! Well, we're close, right? I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
we are.
smack him with my things. Oh,
Shit.
oh, he's so close! He's so close! He's so close! Get him!
Where is he?
Oh, we got him!
Nice. Oh shit.
Judgment minus. I imagine it's not gonna be great. Yeah!
Alright.
You got less minus points than I did.
You got 0 XP from that.
No, I got some EXP from that.
Acquired items lost score below 0. Oh shit.
I don't think I got any items from it because I think our score was too negative.
Yeah, none XP either. That's unfortunate.
I got the EXP for it. Like, not a lot of EXP though, I'll grant you, but...
Well, that's what else is that? We don't want that shit.
Yeah, no, there's literally like that's literally like the easiest one, so...
Okay, well you might need to consider playing a different game then for the time being.
Oh yeah. Also the network, the lowered frame rate is like it like caps at like 30 when we're multiplayer for some fucking reason.
To stop desync.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, come on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get. I don't think it's justified. I'm just saying that that's the reason why we do it.
I have stepped out into the light of 60 FPS.
Yeah.
Oh well,
Sorry, fam.
it was an attempt.
Well, it's not even title screen.